And welcome back to Red Card. I'm your host, Anthony Totera, and joining us right now from Atlanta United defender Michael Parkhurst. Michael, welcome, my friend.
Thank you, Anthony. Thanks for having me tonight.
Hey, pleasure's all mine, Michael. Let's talk about it. The first win in Atlanta club's history. What a day it was. What a game in snow, and how sweet it must have felt for you and all the boys flying back home the next day to Atlanta. Talk about it.
Oh, absolutely. It was historic and it was memorable. It will be memorable for the club for history, for forever. Not only because of the score line and the performance, also the weather. It was a great day. I don't think the club envisioned our first win going exactly like that, but it's a good story for the club.
And it's a good story for MLS, and it's a good story for the game we love, Michael, because I said this from the first day that I knew that Atlanta was coming in. I knew this would be an unbelievable market. They would support this team, and they are very knowledgeable soccer footy fans. And let's talk about it. That first game at home, unbelievable. The support, the way that those fans showed the love towards your team, this is unbelievable. I believe in my heart of hearts, this is not an expansion team. This is a team that could get into the playoffs and make some noise. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it was beyond expectations. It was amazing. Outside of maybe hosting MLS Cup, I think it was the best atmosphere I've ever played in MLS. We knew it was going to be a sellout. We knew the 55,000, but you just can't appreciate it until you're out on the field and you hear it and you feel it. It was amazing. It was an unbelievable experience. And, I think you're right. I think the expectations for us from the outside and from within are more than your ordinary expansion team. And I think that's a testament to the commitment from ownership. The club's doing things the right way. They are obviously showing that they're willing to spend money. And the product on the field hopefully can rival the front office and what they're trying to do.
So let's have a look at this lineup, Michael. I spoke to Mark Bloom a couple weeks ago. He was on our show, and I've had a number of these guys on my show in recent years. Jeff Larentowicz, a veteran, a guy that understands MLS inside out. You've got some youngsters like Julian Gressel. He's opening up a lot of eyes. Another veteran, Greg Garza, and explosive players like Martinez and Almiron. This is a good mix. On the bench, you got veterans again that know what it takes to win in MLS. I think this is key on and off the field for success.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they did a good job of blending everything. They obviously went out and spent big money on some foreign young talent, but they also knew the benefit of having some MLS experience. That can't go understated because MLS is a league unlike any other, as we all know, and it does take some experience to have success in this league, I believe. Between myself, Jeff, Jake Peterson, even Tyrone Mears a bit now, we all know what MLS is like. We all know what it takes to win in this league, and combine that with the youthful energy and the overall talent of some of the other guys on the team, and it's an exciting mix. We're going to be an exciting team, especially offensively, to watch this year.
Michael, I've followed this league since day one. I've been a supporter of MLS and all that they're doing for American, Canadian players, and players all over the CONCACAF region. But what I love that they're finally starting to do, and especially with your club, is bringing in a world-class coach like Coach Martino. I think this is long overdue for MLS with other clubs, that when they look at bringing in a new head coach, they need to look at bringing in guys like Coach Martino. How refreshing is it to hear someone like him speak to you and the boys in the locker room and in training sessions, especially with all the knowledge he has and what he wants from you?
Yeah, it's great. I think a lot of the future signings will depend on how much success we have and how much success he has. And so, obviously we hope it's a lot. And, it's just, he brings a different style to everything. And it's a new experience, and it's everyone's adapting. He's adapting to MLS and some of the differences between the culture here and the culture that he came from, and we're adapting to the new things that he's bringing, both on and off the field, to make us better. And it's been all good. I think that he's, if you ever get a chance to meet him, he's a very approachable guy. You'll realize that right away. He's very easy to talk to. His English is getting better, but willing to learn, willing to adapt, and not just force the Argentine way on everything, because the league is different, like we said, and it does take some adapting. And so it's a great blend of things, and we're enjoying it right now.
And Michael, what I love about this hiring is this as well. I've said this to many, many coaches on the past on my show. Most recently, the head coach, Dominic Kinnear. I've also said it to other coaches all over the league. Sporting KC's Peter Vermees, he joined me as well. That I believe the league, MLS in general, lacks an identity when you go from club to club. Lacks a certain style that week in, week out you're going to get from each club. We know when we talk about Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, on and on, you know what they're going to bring to the table. I believe Coach Martino is going to bring an identity.
Absolutely. I agree with you. He has shown to us and exhibited to us how he wants us to play. We're still, obviously young into the season and still working on implementing everything that he wants us to bring each and every week. But definitely we're going to be a high-tempo team who is going to press a lot, who's going to want to dominate games with the ball, and also blend that with some quick attacks, because obviously we've got the pieces up top to do so.
Michael, Atlanta is a city that takes no backseat to anyone when it comes to pro sports, basketball, baseball, you name it, football, on and on. It is a smart sports city. How important is it, Michael, that you and your teammates get out there in the community, keep that buzz going all year round, and continue it on for years and years, so that the city of Atlanta can embrace and understand how important and vital it is for the young players in Atlanta growing up to say, hey, I want to play one day for my hometown, Atlanta United. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's extremely important. I think everyone throughout MLS has a little bit of an obligation to do that, whether you're on Atlanta or any team. We all want the league to succeed. We all want our national teams to succeed, whether that be Canada or the U.S. And the future of MLS is imperative for that success. And I think that we all need to get out there and make sure that the passion from the fans is there, that young kids are going to the games and they're watching us and they're learning, and we're being good role models to those youngsters, because myself growing up, I didn't have that until I was a teenager. The league didn't exist. So young kids have a great opportunity these days, but the onus is on us to make sure we go out there and represent. And I think the great thing about Atlanta and what they've shown is through the season ticket holders that I don't think it's going to be a one-hit wonder around here. Obviously new teams do well in their first game or maybe their first year, but the numbers are pretty staggering, and I think that we're set up for success here. It's going to be long-lasting, and I'm glad I'm part of the first team to experience it.
Michael, you've played in Europe. You understand the atmosphere. You understand that they live it and breathe it. But I tell you, the last number of years, it put a smile on my face to see the derbies here in MLS. That Pacific Northwest with the Whitecaps, the Timbers, and the Sounders on and off the field, lights out European style. Here, TFC in Montreal last year in the playoffs, it brought tears to my eyes as a Canadian to see the support, the media attention, on and on. I believe this is what is key and important for MLS to continue to wake up people all over.
Yeah, it's been great. The playoffs last year were fantastic. That Canadian series, both on the field and off the field, you could hear it, you could feel it, even through the television. And you're right. That's what they need. Same thing with the New York teams. Even San Jose, LA. These types of games, these atmospheres, and that's what really makes it. The game can be great, but if there's only half the stadium there when you're watching it on TV, it's just not the same. You know, it's these full crowds and banners and singing and everything that goes into the game, especially when you're watching it on TV. It makes a huge difference, and the league is just leaps and bounds ahead of where it was when I was playing for the Revolution 10, 12 years ago.
Lastly, but not least, I want you to talk to the kids out there, Michael. I want you to explain to them, especially to those young boys that might be on the bench that are struggling with confidence because, unfortunately, their coach thinks at the age of 8, 9, and 10 that every game is a World Cup game and they need to win, and let those boys sit on the bench and rot. They're not going to play. But they want to live your dream, playing pro soccer, whether in Europe or in MLS, traveling all over, enjoying the game, picking up a paycheck. What's the advice you want to give them, and also to the moms and dads? Because those rides home, Michael, as a parent myself with 2 boys, I learned a lot. Times to keep my mouth shut and times to speak. What's your advice?
First for the parents, I would say make sure that it's enjoyable and that you're positive with your kids. I still remember games when I was young where parents are out there screaming at kids, and kids are, we see it, we talk about it, you feel it, you can see your teammates, struggling with their parents, yelling at them. It doesn't help. And kids, everybody develops at a different rate at a different age. You have to continue to believe, continue to put the work in. I was never on any youth national teams. I was always too small. I was always too skinny. I was like 100 pounds going into high school. As long as you keep practicing and working on the technique and, that part of the game, and you're watching and you're learning, and if you're willing to put in the work. I've seen guys that aren't good enough to play technically, I don't think are good enough to play at the highest level, but just never quit and outwork other guys to the point where the coach can't keep them off the field because they want to win so bad. They'll do anything it takes, even if maybe their first touch isn't the best. So there's not one way to become a professional. There's multiple ways, and every coach sees the game differently. So, if one coach doesn't prefer you, it's no reason to get down because other coaches out there see the game differently.
Well said, Michael. Congratulations on that first win. Good luck the rest of the year. God bless you for all you do in the community and giving back, because we need guys like you out there talking to the young players and explaining to them the things that you just did. Good luck the rest of the way. And again, Michael, thank you so much for your time, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Anytime.
That is Michael Parkhurst, class act and a true leader on this new Atlanta expansion team, Atlanta United FC. Great to have him on. Quick commercial break coming back. Ives Galarsep of Soccer by Ives. Stay tuned. He was